Let's continue to follow this breaking story that we've been covering on the channel. Tembisa Hospital CEO has been suspended following a report into the death of Shonisani Lethole at the facility. The businessman died at the hospital last June. The Health Ombudsman's report into the matter revealed, among other things, that he wasn't fed for over 100 hours. Lethole's family and the Justice for Shoni campaign have been calling for accountability and for heads to roll. For reaction to the development, I'm joined by Shonisani Lethole's mother, Patricia. Patricia, thank you very much for your time and for speaking to me this morning. Of course, yesterday, finding out that the Tembisa Hospital CEO has been suspended, this won't bring back your son, and I understand, but does it give you some type of comfort as the family?
What I can say is that it did, because at least we can see that the government is doing something about our son's death. But at the same time, we feel like we need to mention that it's not about a personal person, but it's about a position which was having some expectations which were not carried out. So as a result, we were asking ourselves as a family, out of all this, and we try to be objective to say, what is it that we have learned out of this? And what we're saying is that it seems as if your leader is not ethical. When he goes down, we'll go with you, because if you are not taking responsibility of your own area of work. So in as much as that happened, but there's a lot which the country can learn from it. And I also want to mention that what is very important to us is that our son's death, it needs not to be in vain. We'll be very happy if the people or the patients who can be in the same situation can get the service which they are supposed to get. And treating one another as human beings, whether you know a person or you don't know, but you treat that person as a human being. So really, we need to be, as South African, we need to be serious about this thing of ethical leadership, because the cornerstone of it is just do to others what you want other people to do to you.
Patricia, there's also, of course, the fact that you felt earlier this week when I was with you, you said you felt vindicated as a family because the healthcare workers at the hospital seemed to be saying Shoni was lying when he said he wasn't fed for 48 hours, etc. But you felt vindicated after this report, and I'm sure even more now that government is acting.
That is so true. Really, that one, we were very much unhappy about it, because we know our son. We're starting to hear stories that he said that from the first of the month to the end of the month, he ate meat in his home. My son, you can ask anyone who knows him, they know that meat was not the first on the list. Even here at home, he was more of a vegan than eating meat. So it really surprises us that people know our son more than us, and they're imposing things on us which we never mentioned. But anyway, that one of saying my son is lying, it really hurts us, because we know that he's telling the truth. And we felt very much disrespected because of that. Having said that, I'm still saying we need to learn from it. It needs to be a learning experience. It won't help us to complain and complain, but it will help us to take it as a learning curve, whereby we start to relook on the way of doing things in every government institutions. And again, and we also need to have active citizenship as people of this country. We need to stop blaming government for everything. I'm not saying government didn't do anything wrong. That is not, I need not to be misinterpreted. But as a citizen, you have something to do because the government has got its role. These institutions, like health, education, belong to us as people. I remember during the olden days, we used to say power, and we respond by saying power to the people. Let's go back to that statement. What is it that is saying to us if we're going to be just bench warmers?
Ma'am Patricia, my last question to you. Of course, we heard about how healthcare workers withheld information. We heard about omitting. We also heard in the report that there's a doctor who admitted to the health ombudsman that he tried to falsify the form that he's supposed to fill in to declare Shoni's death. And he tried to falsify it in order to change the day because he came there too late. Would you want any criminal charges to go against any of the officials, or are you okay with just a disciplinary hearing and suspensions?
Really, they are dangerous. This is very dangerous for people to tell lies. Remember, they're dealing with human beings who are in a very weaker position. And those people are the ones who must uphold the truth. And as a family, we have not yet thought of whether it needs to be a criminal charge or whatever. But to me, they are in the wrong place. And again, having said that, truth needs to be upholded. So what do we do to a person who is telling the truth? Can we punish a person by telling the truth or what? Whatever happened, but for them to say that when you are a doctor, I'm not a doctor, I'm an educationist, to tell a lie when you are under pressure, I don't think you need to be handling people, really, human beings who are in the weaker position. And I'm afraid that the hospital is where people need your help. Don't see them as statistics. See them as people, as human beings, as your son, as your daughters, as your mothers. If what you have said, you cannot do it to your son or your daughter or whatever, you are in the wrong place, my brother. With that one, I'm not God, but what I'm saying is that there are some sins which are very much unforgivable because you are holding a nation at ransom. We cannot trust you as a doctor, but we are coming to you to help us. There is a sort of an irony there.
And the Health Professionals Council, Mama Patricia, do you want them to probably just intervene because they are a body that holds health professionals to account for doing things such as this, especially with this one where, you know, the outcome was very devastating?
They must intervene. There's no way. They must intervene. Why are they there? It's their job. And really, I forgot whom am I talking to. But if I say my daughter, just accept it. You know what? Because they are there to protect us. Here, somebody who is not protected. In fact, Shoni, we're talking about Shoni. Shoni has finished his journey. We're talking about people who will go to that hospital again or to any health institution which is not adhering to the ethical whatever. So I strongly believe, and I will believe it forever, if you have been given a task, if one of your tasks is to take care of the people, stop protecting one another. Stop protecting yourself, because if you do that, you will be able to get help. The more you start trying to protect yourself, you are getting out. You are getting yourself out from your calling, because as a health professional, you are there to protect us. Forget about Shoni. Shoni is gone. We are dealing with those emotions. There's a future generation. There is us, the present ones. What do you think their attitude won't be able to cover us? Remember, we are loyal taxpayers. We are loyal taxpayers in order to get services.
Okay, Mama, thank you so much.
So if we are not getting them, really, it's problematic.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mama Patricia, for speaking to us. She's, of course, sitting there with her husband, Albert Lethole, who is also Shonisani Lethole's father.